Hello and welcome to this weekly webinar on Taste, the Ultimate Solution to Pain. It is our privilege to have Ms. Suchitra Pareekh, speaker and coach in Samkhya Yoga based in Mumbai with us today to talk about this. I heartily welcome you, ma'am. It's a very that you are with us. We also have the director of Morarji Desai Institute of Yoga, New Delhi with us. I welcome you, sir.
Namaste.
We also have Mohammed Walam, sir, Communication and Documentation Institute of Yoga, New Delhi with us. Welcome, sir. Now let us start this webinar with prayer. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now I would like to invite Mohammed Alam, sir, Communication and Documentation Officer of MDNIY, to deliver the welcome address. Sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Good evening, everyone. Friday webinar is a regular feature of Morarji Desai Institute of Yoga, Ministry of Ayush, Government of India, wherein MDNY invites eminent experts of yoga, modern medicine, and allied sciences to deliberate upon important health issues and conditions. Today's topic on the test, the ultimate solution to pain, is excellent and a unique one in the series of Friday webinar. Today we have with us respected Ms. Suchitra Pareekh ma'am, a speaker and a coach Samkhya Yoga and the senior faculty at the Yoga Institute, Santa Cruz, Mumbai. She has expertise in teaching yogic values to children through fun activities. It's a quite unique one. On behalf of Morarji Desai Institute of Yoga and my own behalf, it's my privilege to welcome you, ma'am, on this Friday webinar.
Thank you so much.
I also extend my warm welcome to Dr. I.V. Basavaraddi, sir, Director, Morarji Desai Institute of Yoga. Director sir's vision, motivation, and inspiration make the Friday webinar quite popular and high in demand among the public. I also welcome the staff, student of the Institute and social media friends. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to request Director, sir, to deliver introductory remarks. Sir.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today is our guest speaker and our esteemed Yoga Sahayogi, Dr. Suchitra Pareekh ji, my colleague in the institute, Sri Tayu Valam, and my faculty member and the coordinator of this weekly webinar, Dr. Vandana, and all my faculty members and student friends, and also yoga enthusiasts who are joining this webinar through various social media platforms of the institute across the globe. My pranams to you all, and on behalf of my institute and my own behalf, it's my privilege to welcome you all for this wonderful evening guest lecture program by Dr. Suchitra Pareekh madam. There are only two things in my mind when I talk about today's guest speaker, Suchitra ji. we usually call Suchitra ji, very popular name for us. The first one is she is a very proud disciple of Gurudev Jaidev ji and Hamsa ji, and proud product of the Yoga Institute of Santa Cruz. And many of the publications of Santa Cruz, she has the her own imprint or the contributed her expertise in the publication. That is one thing. The second one is there is a always a seeker and a teacher I saw in Suchitra ji. She is a knowledge seeker and always she seek the knowledge by studying, by practicing, by interacting, by various means of knowledge seeking. Then whatever she learned and she teaches it. And these are the two very valuable principles or characteristics I found in Suchitra Pareekh ji. And I never prepared my talk. I speak spontaneously. Apart from this, you know that Dr. Jaidev ji is one of the rare Yogacharya who speak authoritatively on Samkhya. Many people teach Samkhya, but they never practice Samkhya. But I respect Gurudev Jaidev ji because he not only taught, but he experienced. He practiced Samkhya and Yoga in his life. So that's why I had a very high place in my heart for Guruji, and I am very happy that Suchitra ji is carrying out that tradition, because it is not a popular tradition, and many people nowadays go with very popular demonstration and bringing the name, glamour, money. But this is the one rare which is very dearer to me, and we are associating in such thing, and always I remember Suchitra ji. Suchitra Pareekh ji is now an author, a transformation coach, and a teacher of Samkhya and Vritti changing techniques. She is also a member of the academic committee of the Yoga Institute. I already informed you she is the prime contributor in all the academic activities of the Yoga Institute. Life member of International Board of Yoga, member of Yoga Board of HSNC University, and inspector of examination of CICSE Board. Her expertise lies in teaching yogic values to children using fun activities or games, what our Sri Taib ji mentioned. And in this connection, I remember Mrs. Desai, and both Mrs. Desai and Mr. Desai, silently they did a lot of wonderful job. In 80s, whenever we used to visit the Yoga Institute, Mrs. Desai always give these games to our children and motivate us. And with the entire team, with Mrs. Desai and Suchitra ji, bringing out such a wonderful yoga models for the children. And I am very proud being a executive in the Ministry of Ayush. Always I recommend the Yoga Institute is the first institute which has meaningfully, many yoga institutions have come up with the modules, but very, very effective modules. It is brought by from the 70s and 80s, brought by the Yoga Institution, and 4 encyclopedias edited by Jayadevji are the monumental documents. And when I was preparing the teacher's guide for the school teachers, primary school teachers, I made Hamsa ji as the director of the entire panel, and we edited one book, and it is now one of the important book we published by MDNIY for the teachers yoga, and where Madam Suchitra Pareekh ji and Mrs. Desai has contributed immensely. I proudly remember their contribution and acknowledge that. And most importantly, when QCI has come up, government starts certification process. When QCI, there are many few experts who are having expertise in the audit, yoga audit. and she was the first among the yoga auditors. Now she is in the panel, and later on she started with some PRCB work and continuing. And recently she has published a wonderful book. I will not tell about it much. She will inform. And like this, she has continuing her journey in both gaining the knowledge and skills and also disseminating to the needy people. So with these very few hearty words, I once again welcome Suchitra Pareekh ji for this weekly webinar program. And it's a very proud moment, and it's a family. The yoga, I always use some all the yoga institutions for us. MDNY is the platform, and we are the providers of the platform and make disseminate the knowledge of different yoga institution. In last 16 years, we are doing it very proudly, and it is one of these things. Now come to the topic which is very dear to me, and you can see my students always ask, sir, you never pray, but you always say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The entire yoga lies in that. Om is Pranava. I am just touching up the only few things. Pranava, and you know the importance of Om and Pranava explained in Yoga Sutra. Then in Samkhya, whenever we talk about the entire Samkhya is to overcome the tapatraya, Adibhautika, Adidaivika, Adhyatmika. That's why we always chant every activity of my life. So always I start with Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So whether I teach, I learn, I meet, I interact. So my goal of my interaction or living is to overcome these tapatrayas and established in the Ishvara. So that one simple mantra is provided the entire essence of Yoga Sutra, and it doesn't take even 5 seconds. But for that, it may take 5 decades or 5 lives. That much of importance of today's lecture. Just I will, for the viewers, I will just read out the synopsis of this one. It is natural tendency of all life forms to avoid pain, to get rid of pain. The efforts we make either postpone pain or give temporary relief, and most people are fine with it. If one has a burning desire or immense desire to totally eradicate pain, antatika, what we call, one searches very hard. Such search may lead one Sankhya, one of the Shaddarshana. Sankhya is an ancient Indian philosophical system, one among the Shaddarshana, that provides absolute solution to pain, resulting in liberation. Sankhya is the philosophy, and yoga is the practical practice. That's why we can't separate Sankhya and yoga, because in other philosophy there is a goal and means. In Sankhya there is a goal, yoga has provided the means. Pure Sankhya is philosophy of realism, and in today's time losing ground as not many people take it to. Due to subtleness of the concepts and logical self-analysis involved, not many are willing to put in the necessary effort to benefit from them. This difficulty can be greatly removed with the approach of relating them to everyday life, giving impetus to deeper inquiry. One can taste the solution to pains by observing oneself with the concept in mind and journey along with it. So this is the synopsis. Before conclusion, I would like to only make another 1 or 2 my observations about Sankhya. One is the entire journey is to overcome this pain. So what it leads to? It's not only the material pain, or even in the Adhyatmika Tapa we are talking about. Many different views are there in Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adhyatmika. So when you go to the commentaries, various Vyakhya on Sankhya, we will understand this better. First of all, understand the Adi Bhautika Tapaka, Adhyatmika Tapa and Adi Daivika Tapa. And I found in many of the Vedanta literature, it has been interpreted wrongly. But it is very rightly correlated with the Chitta Bhumi, what we are talking about, Mooda, Kshipta, Vikshipta, Ekagra, Niruddha. So then how it can elevate, the practical path is been given by the yoga. Therefore, understanding sutras of Samkhya and giving the solution, not the philosophy, practical solution is very much essential. I hope so. Today, Suchitra Pareekh ji will address these issues. One is the principles and the philosophy, and the means to get the solution to overcome the pain is very much needed. And these are yoga is not mere some asanas, chakrasana, dhanurasana, nadishodhana. But I always say, suppose Maitri, Karuna, and Bhava, the Santa Cruz Institute has provided, along with the practices, they have to be adopted. So that kind of yoga practice, that kind of yoga teaching is very much essential of the day. In this context, today's lecture has its own place. It's going to be record. So if all these matters have been come up, and it will throw new light on the knowledge system. With these few opening remarks, so I once again heartily welcome all the viewers and also Suchitra Pareekh ji for accepting our invitation in a very short notice and prepared to deliver. Sri Madam Suchitra Pareekh ji, welcome to you. Madam Pareekh ji.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. My pranam to, I can call you Guru Bhai, where we follow Dr. Jaydev so closely with respect to Sankhya. Thank you for Alam sir to be present, and thank you, Vandana, and a very, very, very big thank you to all you viewers, students, yoga enthusiasts who are here to hear about this unique topic, taste, the ultimate solution to pain. Yes, it was by chance that I came to this topic, but it was very essential for me that Dr. Jaydev, Dr. Basavaraddi was talking so much about. When he bestowed this kind of responsibility on me, I felt, yes, now that he is not anymore in his physical abode, it becomes a bigger responsibility to spread this to the world. So yes, I take pride in being the disciple of Dr. Jaydev Yogendra. And today's this session of 45 minutes, I hope I am able to give you a little taste of this ultimate solution, the Sankhya. Really, just the taste. So my gratitude goes to every one of you at MDNIY with Dr. Basavaraddi's great mission of having to spread this knowledge, such very, very precious knowledge. And without you, participants, this wouldn't have happened. Just as much as it is essential to begin with a prayer, I can never teach Sankhya without having to pay my gratitude to my teachers, my gurus, my preceptors, Dr. Jaydev Yogendra and Hansaji Jaydev Yogendra. And when we are talking of I am sorry, I just lost the slide, Rishi. Okay, got it. So, cannot but pay my respects to Maharshi Kapila, the propounder of this darshana. Sankhya darshan is not having been taught by anybody to Maharshi Kapila. Maharshi Kapila realized this. We can say he was the first one to gain liberation. So, what he had done was actually practice, right? And today, just as Dr. Basavaraddi just mentioned, Dr. Jaydev always said that there are very few people who really want to study Sankhya. And here, I feel compelled to help people at least taste it. जब टेस्ट करते हैं तो ऐसा होता है ना कि अच्छा वो बम्बई जा रहे हो, हाफूस आम खाओगे ना, तो वो हाफूस आम कैसा होता है? You know, one wants to understand. We're very cautious about anything new, and taste is one of the first thing that we start doing when a human baby is born. In fact, just about 2 months ago, one of my friends became a grandfather, and I was asking him just last week, okay, what is the progress? What is the baby doing now? He says she has started putting everything in the mouth. So taste is one of the first thing that we begin. And today, for those of you who are new to Sankhya or have always kept away from it, not knowing what it is, at least for them, as well as for those who have been studying Sankhya, maybe as part of their curriculum, or maybe as academic study. There are some exams which involve studying of the philosophy, but then that is Shabdik Gyan, wordy knowledge. For them also, this would be an opportunity to get a little taste of what it means to study Sankhya. अब टेस्ट करना है तो सारे सेंसेस यूज करने होंगे, खाली जीभ से नहीं होता है. We are tasting a field of knowledge, understanding, and that also not just plain informative knowledge. It's a deep knowledge of self. And very obviously, there are different ways in which we look at ourselves. So you will have questions. I most welcome questions, and I will seek Rishi's help. Okay, yeah, I can see the conversation section. I'm keeping it open. So if there is anybody who has a question to ask in between, please feel free to type it in the chat, as well as we can have a question answer session at the end also. So feel free to ask your questions. Never refrain from asking.
We have a question answer session, madam, at the end.
Yes, we will have. We will definitely have. लेकिन कभी कभी किसी को मन में एक क्वेश्चन आता है, फिर वो बाद में रह जाता है ना, तो एटलीस्ट चैट में टाइप कर दो, तुम्हें भी याद रहेगा, मुझे भी ध्यान रहेगा, and maybe I can include it while talking about it. Because though I have prepared a PPT, but my conversation with you all will be more spontaneous, and it will be very, very more fruitful if you have your questions put up. Okay. Now, of course, Dr. Basavaraddi has said so much, and I'm grateful to him. He respects and says such kind words for me. But I want to share with you, in addition to what you have already heard, to earn the right to present the practical aspect of Sankhya. Technically speaking, Sankhya and yoga are definitely a practical theory kind of a pair. So one might think that practical Samkhya is yoga. Yes, it is. But Samkhya also needs to be practiced, put into practice in life. And it is responsible to bring about awareness, and not just awareness, but awareness of awareness. So I want to tell you this part of the story. I, as a schoolgirl, always in the vacation, there would be religious books in the house which my mother would say, कि ये मेरे को पढ़ के सुना, ये मेरे को पढ़ के बता. And at one such time, she gave me a book which is had all the Bhagavad Gita shlokas in Hindi, along with the importance of each chapter. In that, I read one story which said that this person who was doing so much of this tapa, something with related to Bhagavad Gita, I forget the nuances because that was not what was significant for me. And he was offered to be the Indra in the Swarglok. Now, he was so much peaceful and calm that he felt that the pleasure and all that we have known and heard about Indraloka was much less for him than what he has. He just walked away. He said, no, thank you, I don't want. And ever since then, that scene, as if, it's been like playing in my mind, and that is my life goal. When I joined the Yoga Institute some 34 years ago, I shared this with Dr. Jaydev. And after completing my teacher's training course, I continued to be associated with the Yoga Institute in very many different capacities on a regular basis. And some good 8-10 years later, Dr. Jaydev, after we had done, but Dr. Basavaraddi mentioned about the bhavas, we had a very big project done on the bhavas, are a very important topic in Samkhya. And we did a big project in the Cyclopedia Volume 2. So we studied a lot of Samkhya. So that became our learning ground by actually practicing. The concepts of Samkhya were experienced and we were made to write things. And after that, I now know that it was a proud privilege. That time it just came as one more project or activity assigned to me. He made me design a syllabi for the Yoga Institute to learning how to learn. In other words, to create learning situation so that learning occurs at subconscious level. Along with that, he called one day and he said, we are not doing Samkhya as a separate subject. And we'd like to add that to our teachers training program. Otherwise, it was, we had the program going on monthly. So 1 month, there used to be about 10 lectures on Samkhya. Now he said he would like to do it weekly throughout the course, 7 months course it used to be. So, and after that he kept quiet. He was man of such a few words. All right, I designed the course the way I understood, and I remember throughout until I had run the course for 2 or 3 sessions, I would keep going back to him with every little change that I would make. And he would only say, today when I look back, I feel really great that he had instilled so much of way to learn Samkhya in me, that he was always kind of supportive and promoted the various innovative ways that I would come out with for teaching the various concepts. So I have been teaching since then, and when, yes, I am a typical school teacher at heart. Now, actually, I thought I would be able to ask you so many questions. If you are open to, let me ask you a few things, and if you can answer in chat. Okay, suppose if something like this, you are learning, and one fine day you are asked to take responsibility to start teaching that without any further additional guidance. Would you take it up? And if you would take it up, would there be any apprehension? Maybe just yes or no, or whatever you would like to answer. All right. That it's okay, even if you're not typing in the chat. But has any one of you got this idea of how learning occurs at subconscious level? Mostly no. Except, well, psychology will have its own ways. But Dr. Jaydev made it so easy, simple, and direct for us that I very naturally, I used to be a school teacher when I started teaching at the Yoga Institute also. So even in my school subject, mainly biology, math, science, I would inculcate this method of teaching as much as possible because it requires a little more patience and time. But examination-oriented teaching is a little different. So after having to make students realize and experience the concept through this method of creating learning situation, then I would also give them inputs for the examination purpose. The jargon is needed, the technical way of expressing things are needed when it is maths and science. So I used to actually teach in these two different ways. One was for real learning, experiential learning, and one was for examination. So I have this very, very clear in my mind what goes where and how learning occurs at what level. So when learning is occurring at subconscious level, I am able to sense it and I expertise in trying to teach that. All those various games that we at the Yoga Institute have been using, Mr. and Mrs. Desai has been producing, I find myself designing so many even more activities that in the centenary year celebration of the Yoga Institute, I actually created a gaming zone wherein all the games related to Yama Niyamas, lots of games and activities related to all the 4 bhavas and various types of yoga were not just presented. Actually, people came, played, won prizes, and it was fun. Not just children, adults liked it even more. So that is my story. I hope with this background, there will be a faith in you that yes, it is possible to practice. Samkhya is not something to be afraid of. We don't need to get scared of Samkhya. As a lot of people are, oh Baba, Samkhya, Bapre, it's very difficult. Okay, before I go on to this slide, let me also tell you one more thing. For so many years that I'm teaching at the Yoga Institute this subject, time and again, though in the syllabus, we really do kind of touch and go, not too much in detail for any concept, except for some key concepts which are directly related to the yoga syllabus of the institute. So I would still give them some activity and assignments to do, which would increase their awareness of themselves, and then try to lead it to awareness of awareness, which I have found that people find it very, very, the method of eradicating pain is more painful. So I refrain from, I give it, if somebody does it, fine. If not, then I keep it to myself. So students would always say, okay, give us some name of some book that we can refer to. What you are saying, we understand in the class. We love the activity that you give us, but we don't fully understand this, Samkhya. If one thing we've understood, we are not able to connect it to the other thing. Okay, so two books which I found very, very simple and which I was using while creating the course were Catechism of Sankhya along with Epistles of Sankhya, published by the Kapil Mutt, and another was that which is published by Ramakrishna Mission, Ishwar Krishna's Sankhya Karika with Vachaspati Mishra's commentary. I would suggest this and bang on, people would come back. Okay, no, it is not easy. We want a book where all these activities that you give us to do should be there. Now, let me tell you about those activities and practical work. I said I was having the blessings of my guru of creating these learning situations. I used to find, based on the way the class would react initially, so based on that, how they are accepting the concept, it would occur to me what assignment or what activity should I give it to them for doing. I'll tell you, for example, the first thing Sankhya begins with, Sankhya Karika ka pehla word hai dukha. It is describing the dukkhatraya. Yes, it begins with that and takes you to eradicate it completely. So these three types of dukkha, I would tell them that now, do you believe that Sankhya is saying there are only three types of dukkha? Let's have some enumeration. So I would enumerate, ask them to say what is dukkha for them, what is dukkha for them, and whatever they would enumerate, would make a long list on the board. And then say, how can this be classified under only these three types? Then we would do a little exercise. Okay, intelligently, let's reason and classify. Say you have pain in your knees, knee pain, very common, back pain, very common, indigestion in the hubbub of city life, again very common, acidity. All these are the kind of pains they would talk of. Then I said, what about the pain of not having to get the rickshaw to arrive to the class in time? Okay, yeah, that is also pain. And what about, because there is a lot of greenery around at the Yoga Institute, so there would be some flies and mosquitoes sometimes coming to learn the Sankhya class also. So I say, what about that kind of pain? Yeah, then they would have many more to list, right? Any which way. Time and again, there would begin a discussion in the class for one or the other kind of pain. Somebody would want to classify it as Adhyatmik, somebody want to classify it as Adibhautik, and somebody want to classify it as Adidevik. Now, what I want to bring to your notice is that, yes, initially it is absolutely individualistic. I would allow them to do that and give it to them for homework. I said, okay, if you think that this pain is adi bhautika, that means caused by others. So you will have to make correction outside on the others, and the pain should go, no? So try it. Then if they had named something as adi devik, not under their control, so okay, fine. So then just prayers and goodwill and send out positive vibes. Maybe that's all that you can do for Daiva. It should get corrected. All right, Adhyatmika. Find out, what did you do wrong? Where did you go wrong that you get that pain? And believe me, perpetually, every single session when I would give this homework, people would come back that no, I thought it was this kind of pain, but then when I tried to make the correction outside me, it was not happening. So I said then, perpetually, आदि भौतिक पेन हम जिसको कहते हैं, वो ज्यादा से ज्यादा आध्यात्मिक होता है. It is rare that the pain is adi bhautik so much as we make it. And then I say, then how can that correction help? I would always tell this story, which I heard from Dr. Jaydev. Mullah Nasiruddin, common character for such stories. One man had gone to Mullah ji to ask him, ये शराब छूटती नहीं है, मेरे को ऐसा जकड़ लिया है कि सारी जिंदगी खराब हो गई है, मेरी शराब छुटाओ. तो मुल्ला जी ने कहा ठीक है, कल सुबह 9 बजे आ जाना. तो कुटिया के बाहर 9 बजने वाले थे कि अभी वो आएगा. तो मुल्ला जी, Nasiruddin Mullah ji, he went out of his cottage and there was one long big tree. He hugged that tree tight and started screaming, chudao, 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 screaming out to get free. This man was coming towards his cottage and heard this noise, some sound, and saw that somebody is shouting somewhere close to Mullaji's cottage. So he rushed there and he was very surprised to see that Mullaji himself is hugging that tree tight and he's screaming chudao. He was wondering, what kind of a person have I come to help for? कि आपने ही तो पकड़ रखा है, छोड़ दो, छूट जाएगा. Chudao, he kept on screaming chudao. So this man, he said, he held his hand and pulled them apart. He says, छोड़ दो तो छूट जाएगा. कि इतना जानता है तो मेरे से पूछने के लिए क्यों आया? There it is. To know where is the cause of the pain. Adhyatmic, adi bhautik, or adi devik. If you are not able to classify it correctly under one of these three categories, know it, no solution that you will try to find out. In fact, you will not find the appropriate solution to it. So that is the beginning. The frustration that one goes through when they realize that they didn't know how a simple thing like a backache can be got rid of. हालांकि हमारे पास बहुत आसन वगैरह हैं, खास करके हम योगा स्टूडेंट्स वगैरह हैं, टीचर्स जो हैं, लेकिन वो बार बार होता रहता है. It's not total eradication. बहुत बातें कर ली, थोड़ा सा काम करेंगे. I really want that this time you answer this in the chat box. Let me know if there is any. Rishi, is it fine? People can type in the chat box. Am I?
No, ma'am. It is not open to everyone.
It's not open to your students also?
No, ma'am.
Oh, all right. Anyway, chalo, then I'll talk. I wish I had asked this earlier. But anyway, this activity I would have still done, even if Just to give you another one glimpse, one more activity. How experience can occur and learning can sink below the conscious level to the subconscious level. Even if you're not going to type in the chat, please at least do this mentally in your mind. Why is there pain and pleasure in our life is the question to which we are going to try and find a solution through this activity. So what percentage of your day, let's take yesterday only, so recent most from morning to evening, was dominated by, I'm giving you 3 groups of things in which you have to give yourself a percentage. In the sense, if most of your day, how much percent of your day, or 10% of the day, or 80% of your day was occupied with activity, agitation, changes, reacting, or thinking of the future. You know, getting returns for whatever you do. If this was occupying most part of your day, how much part of the day? Give yourself a percentage for that. Now, let's think of something else. Again, look at your whole of yesterday. How much time of the day did you spend which was quiet, peaceful, when you were in a balanced state, you were calm, and you were in the present, not just thinking. You were present, attending to what was at hand. So if there was any thought, it was about the present just now. कि अभी मैं ये कर रही हूँ या अभी मैं ये कर रहा हूँ. उसके ऊपर पूरा attention था. So what percentage of the day did you spend like this? Whatever percentage, note it with you. Then, okay, another one. I cannot see my own slide properly, all the same. The third category, I want you to think, again, whole of yesterday. What percentage of the day did you spend being lazy, being lethargic, or feeling stuck somewhere, कि ये करना है, हो नहीं रहा है, or you were resisting something, कि भाई ये avoid करना है, you know, or you were thinking of the past. If any of such things you were doing, put percentage to this. So A is thinking of the future, B is being in the present, and C is being more in the past and being stuck. Okay, I assume you've given some percentage to A, B, and C. Let's see what does the result show you. A is experience of pain. Whatever is the percentage of A that you have given to yourself, that much percentage is pain in your day. Whatever percentage you've given to B, that is your experience of pleasure in the day. And whatever percentage you've given yourself for C is your experience of delusion, doubt, confusion. Now, how am I able to say this so accurately and so confidently? From Samkhya. I'm sure there is nobody living in India who has not heard of these 3 words. You may know the meaning differently in different contexts, but you have definitely heard of the 3 words Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Mostly whenever I have asked this question, people have told me that yes, there are food of so many different types. So sattva, rajas, tamas, yes, is there in everything. Sattva, rajas, tamas in Samkhya is called the primordial matter, of which entire universe is made of. There are always three of them together. They are never separated from each other, but they play a predominance and subordination ka game. Sometimes sattva is predominant, rajas and tamas are less. Sometimes tamas is predominant, rajas and sattva are less, and like that it goes on. So one predominates, the other is suppressed, and that suppressed one is also supportive. So like this, our day goes on. That is why I also asked you, how much time did you spend in this, this, and this? That tells you which is the predominant guna of your day. And what you do once is how you do always. So by and large, yesterday was Rajasic. Know it that you are repeatedly experiencing Rajas. You are being in Rajas, and you are being. If you are repeatedly or having more time spent in Sattva, then you are increasing Sattva. You're giving it more power. And the same is true with respect to Tamas. The root cause of all the pain is that which is caused by this predominance and suppression. This fluctuation that keeps happening in this Sattva, Rajas, Tamas is really the root cause of all the pain, is what we understand when we study Samkhya. So inquiry into Samkhya is the ultimate solution to pain. When the first Karika of Ishwar Krishna begins by talking about the three types of dukkha, the second one states that there are many visible means of eradicating pain, which we always use. But only the one who want to eradicate pain in such a way that it does not come back. All other solutions, they are temporary. They decay after some time. They are fruitful for a long period of time, but at one time they end and the pain comes back. Even if it is after thousands and 10,000s or millions of years, but it returns. If you use the means as said in Samkhya, the absolute knowledge about the play of these three gunas, you have arrived at the ultimate solution to pain. Believe me, it is possible to start living mentally in that space, and everything happens twice in your life. First it happens in the mind, then it happens in the physical world. So if in the mind you are able to make this correction and see the play of three gunas, it is possible for you to start your journey to Kaivalya. You have just done a very small exercise here. There is absolute possibility of splitting it to nitty-gritty and doing this. It's time for me to allow you question answer, but I'll go through this one more slides briefly, just to give you an idea that how the modern means and how simple means can be used for inquiring into Samkhya. In management, there is a concept of asking 5 why. Yes, when a manager is faced with a situation with an employee, like the one that I have, common one that everybody faces. Yes, they are asked to ask, at least to get to the root cause, they say, ask 5 why. Say, for example, an employee who's come in late, the manager is asking, why are you late? Say, I missed the bus. Okay, why did you miss the bus? Because I got a bit delay in leaving from home. Why did you get late leaving the home? Because I got up late. And why did you get up late? I had gone last night for a party and I slept late. So why did you go late night on a weekday? So I just liked the company that I was having for that, and the food was good, or whatever is his reason. But obviously it will end up with some kind of liking. So the manager is supposed to be satisfied with this answer, where at least the employee has taken the onus. Okay, yes, I have this weakness for which I got late. Okay. Now, I say ask two more whys. One is, why did you give in to that temptation? Maybe because I cannot control myself. And why can you not control yourself? If you cannot, who else can? I don't know. I'm like that. I don't know why I cannot control. If you cannot control yourself, if your mind is not in your control, then in whose control it is? Nobody. That means it's wild. And Samkhya very pointedly tells you that mind is for you to use. Means it's not your master, it is your servant. And it's been my learning from experience, which I can share and tell you with absoluteness, that mind is the best servant and the worst master. And it's up to me to make it my servant or to make it my master. I will end with one last story that Dr. Jaydev always used to tell us on the first day of the first program, the 7 days camp that we would attend. There was this farmer who had gone to the neighboring village for some work, and he was returning in the little early in the afternoon, and he was tired, so he was sat down under a tree to take some rest. While he was sitting there, he was wondering and worrying what will have happened at home. His wife was not well, his 3 little kids. He was wondering if they would have even got up and eaten something. Hasn't somebody cooked anything? Have they taken bath? What must be the state of home? And he also was worried. Okay, for so long I've been looking for a helping hand. I'm the only one in the field. I'm not able to cope with my work, and I'm not getting any servant. One sage was passing by, seeing a worried man, sat down next to him, talking to him. Okay, what is it that is worrying you? Can I help? So anyway, to a saintly person, this man told all his worries. And this saintly man said, I think I have a solution for your problem. Okay, what I think I can give you a servant. I have a monkey servant who is very efficient. Okay, what will I do with a monkey? I need somebody who can help me on the field. Okay, no, this is very efficient. Whatever you tell him, he will do. Okay, I need help. Whether a monkey does it or man does it, it's okay. You know that you trust me. Very, very efficient. Come with me. He took him to his cottage and called his monkey servant. The monkey servant came and he said, before I hand him over to him, let me tell you his one speciality. In the sense that he cannot be kept idle. You have to keep this servant occupied all the time. So, okay. So these, sorry, I got distracted by looking at the question suddenly. This monkey servant has this speciality that it has to be kept occupied. Okay, don't worry, I have so much work, it's never getting over. So not to worry about the work part. Okay, fine, take it. But if you keep it without any work, it will eat you up. No chance, he said, don't worry. Fine. The servant was given to this farmer. The farmer said, follow me. Monkey got work to do. Started following him. Now, as it was, it reached home, he saw that, yes, his wife was still not well, hadn't got up. Children were just messing up in the house. Nobody has had a bath or eaten anything. He said, the sadhu said that this monkey can do anything. So let me see if I can take his help. He knows anything to do or not. He started instructing the monkey, to clear up the house and the children to be given bath, to prepare the food. And yes, truly, monkey was able to do all this, whatever was told, and do it pretty fast. So much so that he still had time in the day. He said, but what am I doing? I have not brought him for housework. I need this servant for my field. So he said, let me take him to the field also and see if he knows any work in the field. So follow me. Took him to the field, where he went there. That he was cutting his crop during that time, and the work that was remaining was for nearly 2 days. So he started cutting the crop with the help of this monkey, both of them doing it. In just that quarter part of the day, the monkey was so swift that he finished the 2 days' work, and the farmer was elated. Great, now no problem at all. Life will be easy. And very happy he came back and got all the evening cooking, etc., and housework also by the monkey. At the end, he became so great, and he got his bed also made by the monkey. He laid down on the bed and told the monkey, get me a glass of water. The monkey got him a glass of water, and he said, okay, now put this glass back, and monkey put the glass back and came and is waiting there, asking for work. He says, now at night, no work, go to sleep. Yes, sorry, no. You remember what the sage said? I have to be kept occupied. Oh my God, if I don't keep him occupied, he will eat me out, said the farmer. And he jumped out of the bed and ran to the sage's cottage, and the monkey running after him. Knock, knock, knock in the middle of the night at the sage's cottage. Say, what happened? I gave you the monkey servant, sage said. Okay, yeah, but now that monkey servant is ready to eat me. You please save me. What happened? Okay, at night also he won't let me sleep. I told you have to keep him busy. But at night time, how to keep him busy? Okay, that's what I was telling you. Okay, now don't explain. Now tell me what to do now. Otherwise he'll eat me up. Okay, tell him to get that pole. That long big bamboo pole over there. And do what with the pole? Beat him. Okay, no, put it behind your house and tell the monkey to go up and down till you call him again. Oh, fantastic. The monkey had also reached behind him. So he told the monkey, go get that pole, follow me. Now, reach the house, put it up behind. And he said, now keep going up and coming down and keep counting how often you go up and how often you come down. Every time you go up, count. Every time you come down, count. Monkey was busy. The farmer could go to sleep. Morning he got up, called the monkey, got work done. Again put him on the pole. Again he wanted to go to the field, called the monkey, got work done, put him back onto the pole. His life was good, happy. Do you want such a monkey is what I always ask. And there's always a mixed reaction. Some people are afraid. Okay, what if I cannot think of what work to give? But I say, I'm sorry, you like it or not. You are born with this monkey, none other than your mind. How swift your mind is, it can do anything and everything in a jiffy. While you're sitting here, it can go to Switzerland and enjoy a full trip and come back. Haven't you all known that empty mind is devil's workshop? That's how this monkey has to be kept occupied all the time under instruction. And the best part is that you're also given the pole, but not everyone and not all the time are we using it. Where is the pole? Breathe in, breathe out. Count how many times you're breathing in, how many times you're breathing out. And the monkey will be tamed. Wild, even if it is a cat, you have to be afraid of. Tamed, even if it is a lion, you can pat. Monkey, our mind, if it is under your control, it's your best servant. Nothing better than that. But if you allow it to rule over you, then it is the worst master. It'll go wild and jump around and mess up with you. So I want to only say this, that taste the ultimate solution to pain. is the tagline of my book that Dr. Basavaraddi said it and did not say it. The name of the book is Practical Samkhya Part 1, and the tagline is Taste the Ultimate Solution to Pain, which I also conduct as a 3-month course. The next one is beginning on 1st of Feb. The book is available on Amazon. So thank you all very, very much. I want to answer this one question that has been posted to me, how the Sattva Rajas Tamas Guna cause the Dukh. The Sattva Rajas Tamas, as long as they are in a state of equilibrium, because they are always together, you can say, okay, if arithmetically speaking, say if anything is made up of 100, 33.3, 33.3, 33.3, Sattva Rajas Tamas, and that is an equilibrium state, for example. The moment the equilibrium is disturbed, it is said to be dukkha, and this is what you realize and understand through study of Samkhya. You can practically understand that. If there is any other question, Vandana, you can let me know, and otherwise we can take it forward.
Yes, Dr. Vandana will ask the questions of the viewers.
Yes.
Dr. Vandana.
Yes, ma'am, there is a question. Is the dukh has predominance of any one of gun, especially defined Sattva's gun?
The Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, they are of the nature of pleasure, pain and delusion. Sattva is of the nature of pleasure. Means anything that will give you pleasure, it will have to have Sattva predominance. To begin with, a novice can begin by seeing that if this thing is giving pleasure, so okay, for you, you will classify it as Sattva predominant. If something is giving you pain, for you, that is Rajas predominant. Rajas is of the nature of pain. And that which is causing confusion, doubt, delusion, then it is Tamas predominant. Every single thing, every single object has all the 3 gunas, and everybody can look at it in different way. A classic example given very interestingly is of a beautiful maiden. To the husband, it is a pleasure, so Sattva predominant. To the neighbor, it is causing jealousy and pain, so Rajas predominant. And Tamas predominant is for somebody who cannot even get to see it, know it, or look it. So the same object can be Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic for different people. Why? Because we also, the person who is seeing it and experiencing it is also having Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. What vibes is what predominates. So अपना खुद का गुण जान, यानी बाहर की चीजों की हेल्प से हम अपने अंदर का गुण जान सकते हैं. I'm so happy somebody is asking this, because that is exactly is the sum and substance of Taste the Ultimate Solution to Pain. Thank you so much. Good question. I don't know if I have satisfactorily answered in such a short time, but this is the one question.
Very satisfactorily answered.
Wow, thank you, sir.
Nice.
Yeah, Vandana.
Yes, sir. No other questions from.
Okay, no problem.
Now.
Yeah, yes, madam. I had one or two just
Yes,
to
sir.
continue for another 2-3 minutes and clarify some of the presentations. So you are rightly mentioned in the entire yoga process there are 2 things. One is you rightly mentioned nobody credit this for Sankhya. So whatever the imbalance is there, that is pain, causing pain. You have highlighted it. So anything imbalance, if it is a perfect equilibrium, and you see the entire universe also moves with 100%. It is not 99.9999 or 100.00001 like this. It is not. It is 100% perfect. the perfect equilibrium is always it is called the Ananda or the Paramananda. We establish in that. So that is the sadhana with that. That is one thing. But what Patanjali explained, it is called the Dukkhatraya Nivarana. So Klesha Tanukaranartha Samadhi Bhavanartha. So many sutras has explained it. So in that case, the entire process of yoga is to remove the imbalance. That imbalance is called detoxification. That is called Klesha Nirmulana. So Tanukaranartha. So, but we are taking into different karma. We have a prarabdha karma, sanchita karma, and agami karma. We have already born and brought up with the prarabdha, and we are experiencing the sanchita, and we are not supposed to accumulate the agami karma. So the entire life process is the method given in the yoga is yama niyamas. Guruji B.K.S. Iyengarji is emphasizing how yama protect us and niyamas observances will help us to elevate. So on this matter, I ask why I had given this preamble because one we agreed, you are rightly pointed out, samatvam is the ultimate pleasure, or we call it as bliss or ananda. Happiness is different, bliss is different. So bliss state, it is always equilibrium, agreed. But how to go for that? So it is the process given by Patanjali, and another one is to process given by the detoxification at the physical level, various level. So on this one, what is your opinion? Whether it is our perception of detoxification is leading to overcome tapatraya and make the balance? One question. The second one is, what other tools you have developed, practical tools? Philosophy is one, you have to develop the practical tools. Suppose you have 4 bhavas. In each asana, you have developed the bhava concept into practical models. Have you developed any such type of practical modules? And if it is there in your first part of the book, kindly inform it to the viewers. You have to disclose it. I may be knowing it, but so that viewers can be, it will be useful for the viewers.
Yes.
Thank you, madam. This is the only one query from my side.
Thank you for asking me this. And in fact, you have touched the chord most closest to my heart by having to ask this question. Because being so closely working with Dr. Jaydev and learning to learn being his very, very important thing that he put it on me, I can't but do everything practical. Also, I am basically a kinesthetic learner. So doing is learning. And therefore, everything that I come up with is got to do with knowing oneself every time better by doing. Not in the practical Samkhya part 1, but I have 3 other books more or less ready to be fine-tuned and published. And they are on practical way of having to imbibe not just the concept, but use of yama, niyama, and pratipaksha bhavna. These are 3 kind of actually course modules for which all the notes that I have been giving, I have compiled it. I'm going to publish them as textbooks for these course modules, initially as ebooks. The first one, I have more or less finished the proofreading, which I will publish maybe before the month end. And the other 2 are also contents are ready, which I will. And you introduce, while in introduction, you talked about the vritti changing technique. I'm sure you will be happy to know that this is an application of really Nyas Yoga, sir. And but I have adopted it from a common technique used created by Gary Craig from USA called emotional freedom technique. Yama niyama are for emotional balance in yoga. This emotional freedom technique, I learned it about 12 years ago. And I immediately went and shared it with Dr. Jaydev and Hansaji. And I told them how I plan to use it for Yama Niyama. Somehow other work pressures did not allow me to take it up as a project. During this period of lockdown, I had this great opportunity that I learned to go online and teach. And I found students who were interested in trying out this new thing. I completed on 6th of January a 6-month course in having a small group of people. We are about 8 of us in that group who have used this technique and got real insight into themselves as to how much of Yama Niyama are they really understanding in their real life. So we used to meet, we continue. They all felt after 6 months, no, this is not enough. By this, we have only overcome our daily problems. But now we want to go deeper into the concept. So we have to continue for another 6 months and we are doing it. And the kind of changes those people have experienced, what we talk of yoga way of life, they are able to measure and say how much of it was there. They create a scale of say 1 to 10. The lowest is 1, the highest is 10 that they want to reach. And they say as to where they were a month ago, now where have they arrived. For the negative emotions, they begin by say anger. So many of them have reported that these negative emotions, the intensity has become so less and the comeback time has so greatly reduced that sometimes they are able to catch themselves before even expressing it. And then I have always told them to use this technique at least before going to sleep to remove whatever small irritation, however for small fraction of a second that they have felt. It's a simple tapping technique which takes about 2.5 minutes to do a whole round. And it's done, out with. People who could not sleep, one of my colleague from the institute, she once mentioned that for 20 years, she has not slept for more than 3 hours every night. By doing this with me for 15 minutes, for about 15 days, she said that I could sleep for 7 hours after so many years in the night, continuously for 7 hours. Means, what is sleep? It's a feeling, no, finally. So she's not feeling like sleeping. बोलती मैं रात को उठ जाती हूँ, भूत की तरह इधर-उधर घूमती रहती हूँ. But she could, and now if she gets up also, she's able to fall back asleep again. I've given her this simple tool, how to use it for that particular issue. And I am feeling so grateful. I find it works on Satkaryavad. The way this technique works, it's on Satkaryavad. In fact, this Taste the Ultimate Solution to Pain, the 3-month course that I have designed based on the book. I am planning that if I get an appropriate group, I will make a combination of vritti changing technique with this session of the 10 sessions that are there in this book. And I can see the results will be amazing. I have some about 40 students since 1919, January, who have, because पहले तो थे बहुत सारे, लेकिन वो सब टच में नहीं रहे. 1919 जनवरी से जब मैंने वर्कशॉप शुरू किए, कुछ फिजिकल फॉर्म में और अब लॉकडाउन के अंदर ऑनलाइन में, तब से कुछ अबाउट 40-45 स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो रेगुलरली कुछ ना कुछ इसके बारे में करते रहते हैं. तो आई एम होपफुल that I will have a small group of experimental and control group, और उसको कुछ प्रूव करके आपके पास में जरूर लाऊंगी उसके साथ. और मेजर होगा सर, यम नियम का आप मेजर कर पाओगे, which is what we've always been looking for. कि यम नियम का असेसमेंट करें तो कैसे करें?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
वो हो पाएगा.
Thank you very much, madam, for your very elaborative answers for the discussion session. And this is the problem, and because yoga is always a subjective experience,
Yes.
and it is inner journey, but measuring it objectively, it's very difficult. But to what extent now we are bringing automation system to assess the various principles of yoga while performing asana, pranayama, dhyana.
Yeah.
So like this, even if you come up with yama niyama, can be tested how much we practice it in our life. And definitely, in my opinion, psychologists create lot many questionnaires and assess the personality.
Yes.
And our yoga people never applied their mind. I am so happy. Guruji Jayadev ji and has laid a foundation, and we have to carry this. And you are doing it with great enthusiasm. And because of my files and other administrative work, I am missing that opportunity to further studies and elaborately think. But always I dwell, and whenever you are speaking certain things, I'm experiencing. This is my experience. So I am not listening to you. I am only dwelling into my experience. That is the way how we interact, how you join. So with these remarks, I once again thank for three reasons. One is accepting and delivering. It's a very difficult to understand, but you made it a very simple. The second one is carrying out the message of the great masters. So we are inviting many people who are legends. I always respect the contribution of these great masters of yoga, and disciple. It is our duty to carry out and contribute our knowledge, so that the knowledge system will grow, and it is for the mankind. We are not supposed to, nowadays it's a marketing, but we need the money to survive and disseminate, not for luxury purpose. So we are following it. Then the last but not the least, and you are coming up with some of the monographs, e-books, and practical models, and definitely our best wishes. And if you provide those things to MDNIY, and we'll put them in the appropriate textbook sections, so that can be referred by the appropriate users. Because the philosophers and Sanskrit scholars and others, they give hours and hours of lectures on these darshana and etc. with very enthusiastically, and they follow. I am not giving any wrong, but they are correct. But they are philosopher. But being a yoga practical persons, unless we practice it, and I don't call it as a yoga. Yoga is to practice and experience.
Yes.
So whatever it is yama, and you have to practice, asana you have to practice. So unless we practice any principle also, and we don't call them it as a yoga practitioner, we are not yoga practitioners. So therefore, third aspect you are contributing for that. Our best wishes from my side and from my institute side. Thank you very much, and namaste, madam, and over to Vandana for the concluding remarks. And thank you.
Thank you, sir.
On behalf of Morarji Desai National Institute of Yoga and all our social media friends, I would like to extend my gratitude to Suchitra ma'am for accepting our invitation and delivering such an interesting lecture. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. It was nice to have you with us today.
Thank you to you and Rishi for all the help and support.
It's our pleasure, ma'am. It's our pleasure. I would also like to thank Director Sir, Dr. I.V. Basavaraddi Sir, for giving us his valuable time. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would also like to thank Communication and Documentation Officer Mohammed Tayyab Alam Sir, our technical team Rishi, Charu, and all the other staff members for making this event a successful event. And thanks to all our social media friends for joining us today. Thank you. And now let us end this session with Shanti Path. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhave, ma kaschit dukh bhag bhave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you all. Thank you, Anna, Sayab, Charu, everybody. Thank you.